My name's Bryanna Martinez Jimenez. I'm currently 22 years old. And I would say I had a troubled upbringing and troubled childhood. I went through a lot of things that I think a child should never have to go through. And I felt really lost, I felt betrayed, I felt depressed. I just lost hope pretty often. I had family, but I didn't have a support system. I didn't have any healthy behaviors to look up to or role models to look up to. My ways of viewing love and relationships were all over the place because of what I witnessed at home. I ended up taking care of my sister a lot because our parents were around, but not really. I think when my mom had us, or had me, she had me pretty young. And so I think when she had me, she was still like living out her mid to late 20s. And I feel like the mid to late 20s are the times where you like try to discover yourself and make mistakes and fall in love, get your heart broken. But trying to go through that while having children, and also my mom having had a tough childhood herself, it's not a very good combination. So there was a lot of unhealed trauma everywhere I looked. And this led to me finding ways to cope that also weren't healthy and leaning on people who didn't have my best interests in mind. And I had to learn many lessons the hard way. And I remember this one time being in one of the many therapists' office, and I remember telling this specific therapist, I can't remember her name, she didn't really help much. I remember telling her that I didn't think I wanted to live anymore. And I said it very nonchalantly. Like if I was talking about the weather. It's gonna be cloudy today. Oh, also I want to die. And my mom was crying. A lot of stuff happened after that. And still, I didn't feel like I got the help I needed. I was experiencing a lot during middle school. I was going through abuse at home. I was witnessing abuse. My sister and I were surrounded by it, and also trying to take care of ourselves and find our own place in the world. We were dealing with abuse, but also recovering from it. And I just wasn't there. I didn't care about school. I would skip class. I found a group of friends that, like I said previously, didn't have my best interests in mind, and they encouraged me to hurt myself and to just do some things that ended up hurting me in the long run. And they were doing it too, so they thought it was okay. And when they were doing it, it was pretty easy for them to stop. Maybe like a phase for them, I don't know. But for me, once I started, I couldn't stop. And it was the only way I could get through the day, or get through an argument, or get through seeing my mother get beaten on. Like, I would literally hear an argument and then grab something from the kitchen and do something before school. And then I would put a hoodie on and I would go to class with a bloody hoodie. So that was a little bit of what I was going through. And I remember just feeling like I needed somebody to talk to. And if I didn't have somebody to talk to besides this group of friends that I kind of knew deep down weren't the best for me, I felt like I was just going to give up. So that's how I found school-based youth services. By being at my lowest, I went into their office at my middle school at the time, and I just poured everything out. And I was listened to. And maybe they didn't exactly understand every single thing I had gone through, but they were willing to, and they tried to, and they made sure that I was safe, mentally, physically, emotionally, even if sometimes I'd get mad at them for it. But I think even just stepping into their office just made so much of a difference and started that chapter in my life that I really needed. I think a moment where I noticed where school-based truly cared about me and my safety and my well-being was during a particular incident where I went to the office and I just talked about what I was feeling and some things I was going through at home, and specifically like being worried about my sister and I's safety or well-being, and also having a new baby brother at the time added into the equation, and telling school-based, and rightfully so, they had to alert other people and alert higher ups. And although I was really mad about that, I think it was really needed, because I think things would have just gotten worse if they hadn't intervened. Because up until that point, they'd been helping in every way. But it was like, this time, okay, now we need to interact in this way. So it's just like finding which way they think would help me the most. I think that's when I noticed school-based really cared about me. When it was like, no matter what the problem was, they were ready to like drop whatever and figure it out, especially if they knew I was at risk. What didn't work with the therapist was that we both knew that they were being paid to do this, and it was very cold and mechanical. Like, I could tell that I was just a patient, and they were going through the routine questions, and I knew, oh my gosh, there'd be some moments where I'd be sitting in the chair and they would ask me questions, and they would ask me a question that I knew, like, if I gave this certain answer, they'd diagnose me with this. But if I gave them this sort of answer, they would diagnose me with that, and then give me this medication for that, or that medication for this. And I would just begin overthinking and spiraling and think that they weren't really helping me, or didn't even really care about me. Whereas with school-based youth services, it was literally just the opposite of that. It was like wanting to know my family, meeting my family, even like giving us Christmas presents, like giving us food, giving us shelter when things were really bad, or just going above and beyond in every way. And they didn't have to, they just literally wanted to. Just like wanting to better someone else's life, wanting to better a child's life. And I think that was the difference. I think one of the key reasons why school-based works so well and is so different from like a therapist's office is the fact that they are there with you through it all. There's that safe space in the building that you know you can go to no matter what. There can't really be a safe space like all the way across town, or when they come visit once a week. It's like knowing that, okay, if this class goes really badly and I'm feeling really badly and I know I shouldn't be feeling this way, I can just go up the stairs or take the elevator and talk to somebody who will genuinely listen to me and be able to help me. Or even in the case of emergencies, it's always close to have somebody who you trust close by, rather than having to reach out to them or have them come to you whenever they're ready. Yeah, I don't think school-based would be as effective if it wasn't in the school, based in the school. I have met people through this program that have changed my life, or even people that I've like briefly met and who have been able to help me out later. Or just people who I've met in the moment that made life worth living that day. And helped me realize what a toxic environment is versus a healthy one. And made me realize that it's okay to ask for help. And I think any advice that I have to a student would probably be to just hang in there. Like, I know it seems really bad right now, but just hang in there. Because if you don't have school-based or something similar to school-based or that being in your life yet, it's gonna come. And you're not alone.